I'm Laurie Blake. Welcome to the WrestleTalk news. On Fridays, we wear pink. It's Money in the Bank this weekend in my old backyard of London town. Not just London town though, because the O2 where it's happening is in South London, where I'm from. And that's how you say South in the South. South for people who can't understand me. Of course, in my day, we called it the Millennium Dome. And it was there as a bright symbol of the future, showing exhibitions of what the world of tomorrow would be like, which is also what's been happening in wrestling as people are looking past Money in the Bank to Summerslam. And you thought this was going to be a pointless tangent, but it actually turned out to be a segue, you wily fox fakey. Anyway, WRKD Wrestling on Twitter reporting that Brock Lesnar is expected to appear at Money in the Bank to set up a third gimmick match with Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Tractors. I don't care how it works, I just want it. More tractors. Meanwhile, BWE are reporting that Austin Theory versus Sheamus could be the post-Money in the Bank plans leading all the way into SummerSlam. But that's not the only thing that Sheamus has been penciled in for heading up to SummerSlam, because everyone wants a piece of that big white meat. That came out way more sexual than I was intending when I was writing it. I mean, those of you watching with subtitles know that actually I did intend for it to come out that way. In fact, I'd written this whole bit into the script, just like I'd written this bit. And this bit. And this bit. Anyway, Fightful Select posted that they've heard rumblings that the Brawling Brutes and Logan Paul could be going into a program after Money in the Bank. Which might be a little bit strange, considering that Logan Paul is likely one of the frontrunners to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, though you can definitely see how an angle with the Brutes spins out, considering that Butch is also in the ladder match. But Paul isn't the only famous face from outside the world of professional wrestling that WWE have got on their books. They've also got gold medal winning Olympian Gable Steveson, who hasn't been seen for a while. But apparently that could be set to change soon, as Steveson is working in the Performance Center, and according to Dave Meltzer, has been picking things up pretty easily, with Meltz going on to say he's gonna be better than a lot of people originally thought. And considering that many people thought he could actually be a new Kurt Angle, that's really high praise. Kurt Angle's one of the best to ever do it. Also, who thought he wasn't gonna pick? He does wrestling. He does actual wrestling. The hard one, where they're fighting back. Before we get on with the rest of the news, just a quick reminder that over on Parts Fun Known, we are hosting the PFK World Cup to determine the best in the world at AEW Fight Forever today. THQ Nordic, the game's publishers, have sponsored us to host this tournament, so a massive thank you needs to go to those guys for letting us play video games during office hours. That's mad respect from me. And if you were watching this news episode close to when it came out, the tourney is probably live right now, so head on over to PFK to see Ollie, Pete, Adam, Dan Layton, Holly Musgrave, and James Mansfield of Quizzlemania fame, and obviously being an internationally recognised drag superstar, vie for the coveted World Cup. And if you're watching later, of course, go on over to PFK to catch up. After this, I don't want to waste the rest of... I'm recording this, don't just ditch me now. Speaking of rising WWE stars with legit wrestling backgrounds, Gable Steveson, remember, NXT's The Creed brothers have long been touted as future major players in WWE. In early 2022, the pair were even noted by Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter to be potential WrestleMania headliners one day. Now that tag team matches a headline in WrestleMania again. And it's hard not to see why WWE feels that way. Much like your Brock Lesnar's and your Kurt Angles, they have that air of legitimacy about them. They reek of realness. And similarly to those two legends, the pair have also proven to adapt quickly to the pro wrestling world as well. However, while both of them are high on WWE's star list, it may be that one of them stands slightly above the other one. Because according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, WWE are very, very high on Julius Creed in particular. Meltzer noted that they feel the same about Brutus to a degree, but Julius very much so. Et tu, Brute. Now, a quick spoiler warning for next week's NXT, so get out of here if you don't want to know that, or skip ahead. Ready? Here we go. Because WWE's big plans for the Creeds could be coming sooner rather than later, as according to PW Insider at the NXT taping for next week, the Dyad defeated the Creeds in a loser leaves NXT match. That's rather shocking, because the Dyad, aka the Grizzled Young Veterans, of all they wanted to do recently is leave WWE. So yeah, look out for the Creeds on Raw and SmackDown very soon, and expect some big things in young Julius's future, especially before he gets stabbed in the back by everyone he knows. Now, while it's hard to say we as wrestling fans are starved for weekly content right now, with let's see, only, what's it, 7 weekly shows between WWE and AEW alone, there may be an internal push on the WWE side for yet another edition. No! I don't want to watch it. Now, as much as I'd love to moan, I think we will let this one slide, as WWE's Liv Morgan and Michin recently sat down with Nick Hausman on House of Wrestling and expressed their desire for an all-women's TV show. When asked what the next step was for WWE's women's division, Morgan said, "There's nothing that the men have done that we have not done, and so I just hope that we just keep getting more opportunity and more time. Maybe an all-female show. Who knows?" Michin stated in response, "Like a weekly show." To which Morgan added, "Yeah, a weekly all-female show. We have the talent and the roster to do it, but I think at this time we just appreciate being equal and not less than." WWE have of course done just one all-female event in the past, that being the very well-received Evolution pay-per-view from October 2018, but now considering the plaudits for the show at the time, it is incredibly baffling WWE never actually followed up on it even once afterwards. It's just like a network event. So whether it's a weekly show or another one-off event, as Morgan says, that roster is certainly deep enough with top stars to handle it now. Got loads of women. Speaking of new shows, AEW's newest addition to their weekly TV platter is, of course, Saturday Night Collision, which I'll be reviewing on Monday, aka Saturday Night Phil. Phil time on Saturday night. Yes, while Collision certainly has more to offer than just CM Punk, there was a bit of confusion going into this week's edition due to a lack of advertisement of Mr. Brooks ahead of the taping from Hamilton, Ontario. Tapings which, by the way, happened yesterday. And if you fancy skipping out on Collision this week due to, Money in the Bank being on and all that, you can check out spoilers on WrestleTalk.com right now. While I'm not going to run down the whole thing because spoilers, one thing I can say if you decide to give it a watch is that despite not being advertised, CM Punk will in fact be there, with Tony Khan announcing that Punk will be providing colour commentary for the first round Owen Hart tournament match between Samoa Joe and Roderick Strong, the winner who will then advance to the semi-final with Punk on the following week's Collision. So there you go, the next couple of Saturday nights still have that one bill fill guarantee of satisfaction. Sticking with AEW, and we have a bit of insight into their creative plans, or should I say complete lack of creative plans for two currently injured AEW stars. The two men in question are none other than Parker Boudreaux and Trench of Swerve Strickland's Mogul Affiliates faction. Yes, while you may have already forgotten that these two large, very inked-up laddies even joined that group and appeared on AEW TV at all, they are still, in fact, around. However, they unfortunately saw their legs cut out from under them due to their respective injuries. The injuries weren't having their legs cut out. They had other injuries. There were other injuries. There's an expression. As for the extent of these injuries, we're not entirely sure. However, Fightful Select confirmed earlier this month that this was the reason for their disappearance. Unfortunately, though, it seems that now Strickland has moved on to form the Mogul Embassy, along with a more established Brian Cage and Gates of Agony. The need for that muscle may not exactly be required. According to a new update from Fightful Select, AEW sources indicate there are now no longer immediate creative plans for both Trench and Boudreaux. So even if they are now fit or soon to be fit, they may have to remain on the sidelines a little bit longer. Sticking with what seems to be this episode's theme of creative plans, and a new report, also from Fightful Select, has detailed what may have been in store for the American Dragon Bryan Danielson had he not suffered his broken arm at Forbidden Door, the absolute maniac. According to the report, Danielson's injury caused several adjustments to AEW's creative plans. Those plans were for him to wrestle more on weekly TV following Forbidden Door, as well as participate in this year's Blood and Guts match, presumably as the Elite take on the Blackpool Combat Club. While it's currently unclear how AEW will work around this, Danielson may at least be able to remain at work in his new creative role on Collision. According to Fightful Select, Danielson is being lauded for his work in creative thus far, detailing that in particular he has been very valuable in speaking with talent about how they want their creative handled and the ways to communicate things between creative and talent. However, the report does give credit to AEW's original booking mastermind Tony Khan for the recent Championship Friday edition of Rampage earlier this month, something that was originally being attributed to Bryan. Unfortunately for Tony, though, he may need all of the help that he can get on the creative front, as AEW have seen yet another hit to their weekly viewership for this week's Dynamite. Despite being a post-pay-per-view show and last week's Dynamite performing really well, this week saw a pretty sharp decline, particularly in the key 18-49 demo, as according to Showbuzz Daily and WrestleNomics, the figure dropped to its lowest since the June 24, 2020 Dynamite, a show that was headlined by the blockbuster main event of Matt Hardy versus Santana. The 18-49 demo was approximately 316,000 for a 0.24 rating, down 28% from the week's prior 0.33, with an overall viewership of 809,000, which is down from last week's 902,000. Despite this, the show still managed to finish in the third place on cable, so it's not exactly all bad. Interestingly, according to WrestleNomics, the episode started off fairly strong, however dropped off as it went on, particularly from the third quarter. So I guess this proves one thing once and for all. Nobody cares about the Painmaker, Chris. I'm sorry. Nobody does. Happy Friday, folks. Anyway, enjoy Money in the Bank. I'm looking forward to seeing those of you who are coming to party with us on Saturday night. And head on over to PFK right now to watch the World Cup live as it happens.